Hey, 8th graders! Lessons 1 to 14 review today, and then there will be a quiz afterwards. So let's go right into it. So, first question, write the following using symbols. So the sum of 3 consecutive integers is 372. We'll head over to our whiteboard here. We have x plus 1 plus x plus 2. That would be our 3 consecutive integers, all equal 372. Now we can combine the like terms on the first side. So 3x plus 3 equals 372. Okay, and then we want to get x by itself, so we subtract 3. 3x equals 369. Then we divide by 3. And we are going to get x equals 123. Okay, and if we want to know our consecutive integers, it'd be 123 plus 1 is 124 plus 1 is 125. Right? Next, so we wrote that and solved it. Here we're going to write, and there it is again. So back linear expressions and nonlinear expressions, we talked about those a long time ago. So remember, linear expressions are sums of constants and products, but they're only raised to a power of 0 or 1. Nonlinear can be raised to any other ones, okay, except for 0 and 1. So are the following linear or nonlinear? That first one is 4x to the 6th, so that one's going to be nonlinear, excuse me. The next one we just have x's, so it's linear. The next one we just have x's, so it's linear. The last one we have a squared, so it's going to be nonlinear. Okay. Next we're going to solve this equation. So again, we can combine. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 x's. 4x plus 2 plus 4 is 6, plus 6 is 12. Equals negative 28. Then we're going to subtract 12. So we're going to get 4x equals negative 40. Divide by 4, x equals a negative 10. Okay. Next, find the value of x that makes the equation true. Okay. So how we're going to do that, we're going to find out what x equals. So let's combine. First, let's distribute. So we have 17 on this side minus 10x plus 45. Two negatives cancel each other. Equals, pretend there's a negative 1 here. So negative 1 times negative 6 is going to be positive 6x minus 10 plus 4. We'll combine like terms on the same side. So if we add 17 and 45, we're going to get 62 minus 10x equals 6x minus 6, because negative 10 plus 4 is going to be negative 6. Okay, let's subtract or add 10x to both sides. So we're working with positive numbers. Add 6 to both sides. So we have 68 equals 16x. Okay, then we're going to divide by 16 on both sides. And we're actually just going to simplify that. So 68 and 16 can both be divided by 4. So we end up with 17 over 4. Okay, and that can't be simplified anymore. Next, we talked about unique solutions, no solution, or infinitely many solutions. So we're going to look at the following 3 and solve for x. So 7x minus 3 equals 5x plus 5. 7x minus 3 equals 7x plus 5, and 7x minus 3 equals negative 3 plus 7x. So here's our first one. We're going to subtract 5x, add 3 to both sides. 2x equals 8, divided by 2, x equals 4. So this has one unique solution. Okay. Next one. We're going to subtract 7x. We get negative 3 equals 5, which is not true. So this one has no solution. Okay. Last but not least, we're going to add 3 to both sides. So we get 7x equals 7x. Now, if you remember when that happens, we have infinitely many solutions because you can plug anything in for x and it's going to equal itself. Okay. Next one. We talked about, I might have put these in the wrong order. No, we're good. We talked about proportion. So if A divided by B equals C divided by D, then A times D equals B times C. And you always want to solve for x if possible. Sometimes there isn't a solution. So Marvin paid an entrance fee of $5 plus an additional $1.25 per game at the arcade. He spent $26.25. Write and solve an equation to determine how many games he played. So here's our equation. He spent $5 plus $1.25 per game and a total of $26.25. Okay, so we're going to subtract 5. So 125G equals 21.25. We divide by 1.25. And G equals 17. So we played 17 games. Okay. Next, the sum of 4 consecutive integers is negative 26. What are those integers? So similar to the first couple we did. So we have x plus 1, because that'd be the second integer, plus x plus 2, which is the third, plus x plus 3 is the fourth. So again, we can combine those. So we end up with 4x plus 6, because 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 3 is 6, equals negative 26. Okay. Then we're going to subtract 6. All right, so just a second, let me adjust, move into, nope, we didn't finish that one yet, sorry. Okay, so we had subtract 6, we have 4x equals negative 32, divide by 4, negative 8, and then we need to find the other 3 integers, so negative 8 plus 1 is negative 7, plus 1 is negative 6, plus 1 is negative 5. Next. We looked at proportional relationships. So Pauline mows a lawn at a constant rate. Suppose she mows a 35 square foot lawn in 2.5 minutes. What area in square feet can she mow in 10 minutes? So that was also when we talked about constant rate. So here we have our proportion, because 35 over 2.5 is equal to y over t. It's equal to a over 10. So we're going to take 35 times 10 equals 2.5a. 35 times 10 is 350, which equals 2.5a divided by 2.5. And a, the square foot that she can mow in 10 minutes is, sorry, put all my answers down here, 140 square feet in 10 minutes, okay? Next, we looked at graphing equations and solving them, so I'm not going to actually write these ones out, or go back first right now. So we plug in a number for x, 1. Subtract 1, y equals 2. That would be our ordered pair. That's a solution. So we're finding solutions. Let's do 1 again for x. So 2 times 1 is 2, plus y equals 10, minus 2 is 8. This one, we're going to pick a different number. We're going to pick 5. You'll see why in a minute. It's 2 over 5 times 5 over 1 plus y equals 11. So we have 2 times 5 is 10, divided by 5 gives us 2, plus y equals 11, subtract 2, you get 9. So 5, 9 is that solution. And last one, we looked at finding solutions, or finding points so that we can graph them. So we're going to find the points and then we'll graph our line. So linear equation, 3, we plug in -2 for x. So 3 times -2 is a -6. Plus y equals 8, so we add 6. Oh, sorry, this is actually a -8. That helps if I do it right. Add 6 to -8 and we get -2. Next is -1, so 3 times -1 is -3. Added to -8 is -5. 0 times 3 is 0, so y equals -8. 1 times 3, we subtract 3, we get -11. And then we'll subtract 6 and get -14. Okay, now we are going to graph this. So I'm going to move the whiteboard over so I can still see it. Okay, and we're going to go to Desmos, because remember that's what we graphed. So we're going to do table, and then insert our values. So -2, -2, -1, -5, 0, -8, 1, -11, and 2, -14. So zoom out, all the values look like they're in a line. So we have a linear equation. Sorry, wrong one, okay? So that's what we did. We found those 5 solutions. Remember, one way to determine if a given point is on the graph by checking to see if it's a solution to the equation. So if somebody asks you if 4, -1 is a solution to that previous equation, you'd plug in the numbers and see. And then all graphs of linear equations appear to be lines. And I'll move this so we can get those last 2. And then the last thing that we learned was graphing horizontal and vertical lines. We're actually going to make this a y equals 3. Okay, so let's graph x equals -2 and y equals 3. So remember, x graphs will be vertical lines, y graphs will be horizontal lines, and any point on that line is going to be a solution to that equation. One more thing that I should have told you from our table, so I'm just going to plug that back in real quick. Doesn't really matter because we're not physically graphing right now. I forgot one. Is we could plug in the equation and then it would graph the equation too. 3x plus y equals 8. -8. So all those points do work on our line, okay? So that's another way to graph it if you would be physically graphing to double check. All right, that is all for your review. Questions on Edmodo for tomorrow, Thursday. Please let me know if any questions or are still confused on part of the review. But have a great day otherwise.